Am I the asshole for expecting my boyfriend's parents to treat my daughter the same as his daughters? I, 37F, have been dating Martin, 39, for what will be 2 years this June. I have a daughter, Scarlett, 10, and he has 2 daughters, Miley, 13, and Joanna, 12. I am a single mother to Scarlett. Her father sends me maintenance each month but has never been an active parent and has never met Scarlett. I also grew up in care, so I have no family or anything. Whereas Martin is divorced and shares custody with his ex-wife. Their custody agreement is very flexible, with the girls sometimes staying with him or their mum longer or often spending times with both parents together. It really bothered me a lot that he was still good friends with his ex-wife, and Martin said if I couldn't handle the fact he could co-parent well and be amicable with his ex, then he would end things. I like to think I got over my jealousy and that the girl's mother and I get on. Anyway, since we've been dating a while and have started discussing potentially living together, I think it's only really fair that Scarlett is more involved and treated the same as Martin's daughters by his parents. She met them for the first time a few months ago and has since seen them a few times since, but she's treated virtually like a stranger. At Christmas, Miley and Joanna were spoilt rotten. They got money, gifts, toys, gift vouchers and makeup. All they got Scarlett was an embroidered blanket thing Martin's mother spent weeks knitting, apparently with her name on it, 2 gift vouchers and a doll. They'll take Martin's girls for overnight sleepovers, but my kid is excluded. They say because they don't know her that well and are uncomfortable looking after her for now. They'll buy Joanna and Miley sweets or little trinkets and give them a couple of pounds here and there every so often, but as for Scarlett, they might only give her one thing and that's it. It's not fair for Scarlett. The last straw was when his parents asked if we would all like to go to Disneyland Paris in Easter with them. They offered to pay for Martin, the girls, and said that they could pay for part of mine and Scarlett's travel expenses, but that I'd have to pay the rest. I lost it and told Martin he needs to tell his parents to treat Scarlett like his girls are treated. It's not fair to her that she has to watch her sisters being spoilt and she isn't. He lashed out in return and said my parents have been nothing but accommodating to Scarlett by including her in things and getting her stuff at Christmas and so on. He said I'm incredibly selfish to expect his parents to treat my daughter, who they barely know, as the same as their grandchildren. He said that I'm bitter and jealous and it's not like we're married or living together. He used the example of the blanket being a really sweet gift that shows how much his mother cares. He also said it's perfectly reasonable for his parents to expect me to pay for my own child to go to Disney and that my parents don't need to pay anything at all for us. He also said I'm raising my daughter to not learn the value of the word no and that she can just be expected to get whatever he wants. He also said that Joanna and Miley are not Scarlett's sisters. It's never been emphasized they were, and they do not view Scarlett as that. He said that I need to get your ass in gear and realize nothing is being done to discriminate against or exclude Scarlett. Am I the asshole? ETA. I view Joanna and Miley as bonus daughters, hence why Scarlett calls them her sisters. Joanna and Miley do not view me as a mother figure in any way, only as Dad's girlfriend. It really hurts, but I don't think I am pushy or anything. I just think of us as a blended family unit, whereas Joanna and Miley have said I am just the woman their dad is dating and Scarlett is nothing to them family-wise. I have tried to get them to involve her whenever they're doing stuff and they outright refuse, so they only, as they put it, tolerate her. Martin has chewed me out about this before, claiming I'm trying to insert my daughter in the friendship groups and activities of his daughters, and it greatly upsets Scarlett because she just wants to be included. She doesn't have a lot of friends and I want Joanna and Miley to be her friends. I have no family and Scarlett's father's family aren't involved. I've always tried my best to spoil her myself, but it seems only fair since we're part of Martin's family now that she's treated the same as Joanna and Miley. You are the asshole. It sounds like they're trying. They are giving her thoughtful gifts and offering to help pay for you and Scarlett to go to Disney. That's pretty generous considering you're not married and they only met Scarlett a few months ago. Frankly, you sound ungrateful and grabby, demanding that they treat her like an instant grandchild and lavish gifts upon her. It's also rather telling that you say their grandchildren were spoilt rotten by their grandparents at Christmas. It reeks of jealousy and makes me wonder why you want someone to spoil your daughter rotten, too. You are the asshole. I can't imagine an adult saying, all they got my daughter was a super thoughtful knit blanket, and 3 other gifts. That's a lot. They absolutely don't have to pay anything for your trip to Disneyland. What is your deal? Are you using Martin and his family for their wealth? I hope your daughter is more grateful than you. All they got Scarlett was an embroidered blanket thing Martin's mother spent weeks knitting apparently. That sounds incredibly personal and special. Am I missing something here? It's not fair to her that she has to watch her sisters being spoilt and she isn't. A. They're not her sisters. B. She is being given gifts and opportunities for holidays, which is incredibly generous as she's their son's girlfriend's daughter who they just met, not their grandchild. And C. If you framed this accurately, she wouldn't be thinking this way. She is mirroring your thoughts. You're trying to force this family and force acceptance. It's the surest way to build resentment. Listen to Martin. He's spot on. You are the asshole. You are the asshole. 1. You're not living together. 2. You're not engaged. 3. You're obviously not married. 4. They only met your daughter a few months ago. 5. Where in any of the above is there anything to indicate parity with their grandchildren they have known all their lives and know absolutely they will know all their lives? Am I the asshole for expecting my boyfriend's parents to spend as much money on my daughter the same as they do for his daughters? Fix that for you. You are the asshole. Am I the asshole for calling my son inconsiderate? Throwaway account for privacy reasons. I, 46 female, have twins, 19 male, and another son, 16 male. My son loves to cook and bake. To him it's his source of relaxation. Alfredo, burgers, pizza, you name it. Heck, even a whole cake he can make it. Everyone who's met him knows he's a fantastic cook. However, he prefers to only cook for himself and gets really annoyed when my twins walk in on him cooking and ask him to make them food as well. He'll end up doing it, but he does it very begrudgingly and usually gives them a much smaller portion than his own serving, which my twins don't like. They both have jobs, and will sometimes use their job money to buy us all a little fast food. So they find it really upsetting how their younger brother never returns the favor by primarily cooking for himself. The other day, neither of my twins had class and weren't really in the mood for the food that we had in the house. My son came back from school and decided to make himself some banana pudding. When my twins asked for some as well, he told them they could just make it themselves and the ingredients were all still there. My son put the banana pudding in the fridge and went to go take a shower while it was chilling. When he came back down, he saw that my twins had eaten it all and this really upset him. When he told me about the situation, I confronted the twins, to which they said it was really rude for him to only make something for himself knowing that they were hungry as well, and like he said, he could always make some more. I told my son that while they shouldn't have eaten his food that they were right, and he was very inconsiderate. My son replied that it's not fair how he gets back from school and is expected to make food for his older siblings. That they can just get a cookbook and learn how to make things for themselves. I told my son that if he's not going to cook for everybody then he can't cook anymore. He's been pretty moody ever since. Obviously his brothers shouldn't have eaten his food, but it takes no effort to just make a larger portion of the food he's cooking so that everybody can have it. My husband thinks I'm in the right, but I'm really not happy with how things are right now between my children. So am I the asshole? I told my son that if he's not going to cook for everybody then he can't cook anymore. You are the asshole. You are not entitled to have your 16-year-old cook for the whole family every time he wants to cook. If this is a hobby that he enjoys, good for him. You and your other children are not an automatic beneficiary. And your twins eating all of his pudding? Major asshole move. Did you make them make another batch to replace the one they ate, or did you just let it slide and go on to punish 16-year-old? Give your head a shake. If you want him to cook for you, then maybe you should assign a night of the week that each of your kids be responsible to feed the family, whether than be cooking or bringing home food. Then it's fair. You are the asshole. Why should your twins endlessly benefit from your 16-year-old's work? I hope he gets himself into a professional kitchen and thrives. He's not their servant. Are they doing his laundry? His other chores? Do they clean up the kitchen afterwards? That would be more equitable. What are they doing in return? Do you seriously think them buying something fast food is the same as all the work involved in making a meal? You are the asshole. Twins want a personal chef. Younger brother is tired of waiting on them. Have the twins ever bothered to cook something for younger brother? I'm guessing not. Have they helped in the kitchen to prepare the food? I'm guessing not. I'm siding with younger brother on this one. I don't blame him for being annoyed just because he happens to be self-sufficient. You are the asshole. My son has an amazing talent, so we're going to take advantage of and bully him till he inevitably doesn't enjoy it anymore. You are the asshole. Your twin stole the work product of your other child and you got mad at the wrong persons. He is not obligated to prepare food for anyone else unless he consents to it. Edit. Not to mention the hypocrisy of them eating all of it. And yes, preparing more, larger portions does take more effort and time. SMH. Am I the asshole for not wanting to be driven around by women, including my GF? When I, 27M, was a kid, I had a traumatic experience and was in an accident in the school bus which was being driven by a lady. Since then I have always had a phobia of being a passenger in a vehicle being driven by a woman. My mom did not drive, and even when my older sister learned to drive, I refused to drive with her even though my other siblings did. I have my license but not a car, and when I take public transit, I also take the next bus if a woman is driving. This is a phobia, and I do not think women should not drive or anything. Recently my girlfriend and I moved in together and she has a car. She is really upset with me as, whenever we go out together I insist on driving her car. She says it feels like I am misogynistic when it is just a phobia. I said I would be okay taking public transit and she can drive her car and we could travel separately, but she thinks that is not a solution and that I should get over it. Am I the asshole here? It is not like I am telling her she cannot drive, and I apply this rule to everyone even when it inconveniences me. I told her she was free to ask my family about my past. You are the asshole for not getting therapy to address this issue. You're only hurting yourself by not addressing this. If you have a daughter, will you refuse to teach her how to drive? If you and your girlfriend get married and you're ill or hurt, she can't drive you. You're harming yourself, and you're also hurting the women around you. It's okay to have an irrational phobia, you can't help it. But you can get help. I'm going to go with you or the asshole here. I understand that you have a trauma reaction, but you've had 20 plus or minus years to get treatment, therapy for that. At this point you're just being sexist. I mean, at this point, yes, you are the asshole. You are now 27, are you going to never get in a car with a woman your whole life? That's not really realistic. You need therapy. Also, you'd better be paying your girlfriend the increase in her insurance and for gas if you are the only one driving her car. Personally, I'm going with you or the asshole. If you replaced lady with any race and said, I have a phobia and refuse to be driven by X race, everyone would jump on the you or the asshole side. It's definitely your job to sort that phobia out, and I've personally been the girlfriend that essentially wasn't allowed to drive her own car in a relationship. It's demeaning. She is really upset with me as, whenever we go out together I insist on driving her car. You are the asshole. It's misogynistic to demand to drive a woman's car because you don't trust her driving. You can be traumatized by a bus incident, but generalizing it to all women in cars is an issue you need be in therapy working to fix. Am I the asshole for saying I will never do a double wedding with my sister? I got engaged in 2018. I am getting married later this year. We have pretty much everything planned. My sister, a year younger than me, got engaged last year and announced her wedding day is the same as mine a while ago. All our cousins said they would go to my wedding. This led to her and my parents reaching out after being low contact with them for years. We'll explain more in just a sec. And saying we should do a double wedding and she won't miss out. I found it such a ridiculous request and said so and told them I would never do a double wedding with her. They act like I was so rude. BG. Sister has always been an attention hog. Our parents encouraged it. But she's also the mean girl. When we were kids the adults really loved her and thought she was such a perfect girl, but to me, to our cousins, she was awful. She was a bully. A few times she would actively tell me when she was planning to take attention from me on my birthday or my graduation. She was like that with our cousins as well. Sometimes it was getting attention on her and getting whoever's birthday it was in trouble. She made up so many lies about us. So I ended up low contact with them, her and my parents, as adults. I know from my cousins she hasn't changed at all. Last time I saw her was before COVID and she tried to say I stole her food. So I said what I said when asked to do the double wedding, and the flying monkeys have started coming for me, in the form of aunts and uncles, who think I'm selfish for refusing. They say I might have had the date first, but I could accommodate since my sister is always left out by me and my cousins. I was accused of being a bully for saying I would never do a double wedding with her the way I did. They said it was so nasty. Am I the asshole? Block every single one of the flying monkeys. And congratulations, you saved money on the guest list. Not the asshole. She's the golden child, I'm guessing? Promptly uninvite bully sister, enabler parents, and the flying monkeys from your wedding. Not the asshole. What kind of complete asshole books their wedding the same day as their sister then demands a double wedding? Go and see with all the ones having a go. Tell them to go FCK themselves and their enabling behavior. Your sister is completely the asshole and they all are for supporting her. Not the asshole. This is a hill to die on. She's clearly chosen this date because you chose it and can't handle you getting the attention. Your wedding is your day, not just another day your sister can steal from you, because you can bet your life she'll make sure it's all about her. Whilst this could be hard, this is probably a good way of identifying others you may want to be go low contact with. Anyone that chooses her wedding over yours are probably people you don't want there anyway. Not the asshole. Good thing they will all be occupied on your special day. Congratulations. Have a wonderful wedding.